Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about mental health well-being, and the topic I have chosen today is worry versus anxiety. These two terms are commonly used and we interchangeably use it without realizing the difference between the two, because at times we don't know what the difference is. It's often, and in the first slide right now that you will see is why I've chosen this topic. The very reason that we are investing our time right now listening to this explains and speaks a lot why it is so important in our life. And we can see that it's often considered that the people don't know how to identify one from the other. It's a very common word that is used, and the identification, if at all we are able to do for ourselves, then we will learn how to cope up when it is arisen. Like if we are feeling worried, then exactly what to do. Maybe the situation is exactly the same, but the coping skill that you have initially experienced will help you to adapt yourself with the new situation, with the new time actually. The situation is same. You have progressed and you have come to a new age. We have seen that according to the study, the teenagers usually worry a lot. And this is a good sign also because they have not let themselves into the anxiety zone, which is again a route towards panic. And worry is a route from procrastination. The procrastination, if is not dealt when it was supposed to be dealt, will lead to worry. And the difference between the two, both worry and anxiety, is very, very obvious. We can identify and we can see it for ourselves. Okay, the slide wherein it shows the difference between worry and anxiety reflects different areas. I have written over here about the experience, the focus, the nature, the problem solving, emotional distress, routine affected physical reaction, reason, state, result, and whether it is manageable or not. When we see the category worry, we should realize firstly that worry, since it is proceeding from procrastination and we have not done anything about it, not to the extent that we are leading our work on time and we are able to complete it. If not so, then worry will set in. Worry is very short-lived, as we can see that worry is all in our head. We are thinking a lot about it. It's a mental aspect. For example, I'll give you 3 examples. One is a mother waiting for a child to come back from school, and she is like desperately waiting outside. The child is supposed to reach, the bus has not yet arrived, so she starts getting worried. It's all in her mind now. What has happened? Have they met an accident? Something has happened to my child. All these things, the thought process that happens, it all happens in the mind. We don't know what the reality is, but it is being developed because of the routine thing that we are following, and it's not happening at that time. Second example again is about work. For example, if you are supposed to reach your office at a particular time and you're not able to reach on that particular time, you're on your way, there is traffic, you start getting worried. You keep on looking at your watch, your mobile, and it's also called mobile, but you are like, all the thoughts are fast forward towards that particular place. Third is, for example, if you're going for an entertainment, a movie, and you have to reach a theater, and it's a amazing movie, Star Wars or probably a Marvel movie, and you are told that there is these initial moments not to be missed, and you are finding a parking space and you're not able to find one, you start getting worried inside. There is this restlessness inside that sets in, and you want to reach at that particular place before you miss out on anything. You're going for an examination, you have to go and appear for that paper or exam, and you have to travel. You are worried that you should be reaching the place on time. And here, the nature for the reason you are getting worried is specific. You know exactly why you are feeling the way you are feeling at that point of time. The trigger point, the issue, you are aware of it. The emotional distress and routine that is affected is mild. It's mild as in once you reach the theater, for example, and you are just on time, then it's like, ooh, I haven't missed anything. You may be perspiring because of the stress and hurry and the fact that you are hurrying and all, and all that is fine, but you are not, your routine of the day is not affected. Then it is like if you reach the examination hall on time, you are then relaxed. Once on the chair, everything is sorted. You feel calmer. The physical reaction is temporary because you feel the stress part till you reach the particular place that you were supposed to reach. Till the child comes back from the school, the bus reaches, and then you find out, oh, that there was a tire puncture or the gas was out. So it's like once the mother sees the child, everything is sorted. You don't feel that pressure. Then again, the manage part, yes, it is manageable. You know the reason, you have successfully reached the place, you can be calmer. How it is manageable, like the next time, then you have to be aware as to, okay, if I have to reach a particular place, this is the feeling that I go through, and let me do something about it. If you don't do anything about it, it becomes that one issue, one situation wherein you felt a particular feeling, you have not taken care of it. Then after a few days, something else will happen. You will feel agitated. You are expecting a phone call. Maybe you've given an interview, you're expecting a phone call. Whether it's a no or yes, you will come to know once the phone call is there. But you are agitated. You are like all the thought processes in and around that interview. So it's like if you have learned how to manage yourself in the first instance, then when you are expecting a phone call, you will be a little more calmer because you will know that it's not in your hand. What you could do was preparation before giving the interview. You gave it well. So rest is whatever is destined is destined. You don't create a havoc within yourself. You will be knowing what exactly to do. So if you have been matured enough and you know what to do, then it's like you can handle your worry part. Coming to anxiety. In anxiety, what happens is, whatever the causes, the triggers, the reasons, the issues that you had for worry, if you have not done anything about it, those were preceding procrastination. If you've not done anything about it, like you know that you have to submit something, you're not submitting it, the deadline is like tomorrow. Suppose the server crashes and you're not able to upload it, just 1 hour before you will start getting worried. That will be an extreme wherein you may be verbally not very good to others around you. And it's not that it's a fault of theirs. It's your own taking, your own handling the situation for your own work. So you need to be a little careful about it. Anxiety will add on to all the symptoms that you had faced in worry. And it goes into an extreme form. It's like experiencing, now it is the worry part has set in because the reasons are now overlapping. You don't know, like, if you are feeling a particular way, if you are feeling inside your body, what is actually the reason. It's just that you are feeling something uneasy. You have not resolved and you have not looked back wherein worry was setting in for you in real life. Anxiety is in your body. You will feel the aches and pains inside the body. You will have like a trembling or shivering, or you may feel, you may perspire a lot, or you may just be cold feet, or whatever it is. It's like physically you are getting affected. You will feel it in your body. It's not now left to your mind. Once it sets inside the body, it does not leave the symptoms, even if you can pinpoint as to, okay, this is the reason. Because in our mind, 2-3 issues have overlapped and set in. The worry has set in. And now when you are feeling anxious, even if you pick up one from it, the others are still there. So it will make you restless inside. It's not very clear. The problem solving is not very clear, and it's like you have increased your emotional distress. You have increased it. You have complicated yourself in the way that now the issues are overlapping. One happens and the other happens. You have not done anything, though. Like if you are reaching for your examination, or if you are reaching for your office, for example, or movie, the previous examples, in all those cases, second time also it happens the same way. You are not able to reach on time or just at the nick of time, but the process during which during whatever the timeline that was before reaching, it is different. Maybe on that day you are having a headache. Maybe something very, very emergency health issues has arisen at home. So that is different. So you are dealing with different set of situations before reaching that end point. So you see, the situation is same. The feeling that you are feeling will be same, but it's more intense now. Because now it's like you have to reach the place, you have to manage this also. If you also reach that place, all the things that you have just managed right now will play in your mind, and then the focus drifts away. It happens like that. It's like every day, then slowly and steadily, you will be leading yourself, your body, to an anxious state, on an edge. So anyone can say to you at that point of time, and you will snap off. That is what it happens actually. It is not manageable if you are not aware about it. You have to be aware about it, and the reason why this is being told to you is so that if you are anxious, think, pause, take 2 steps back, look at your, whatever the routine. Are you doing things at the last moment? If so, then it means that procrastination and worry is there in your life. You can do anything about it. You will be able to overcome it step by step. But there has to be a starting point. It doesn't happen that, okay, one day I'll go to the doctor or something. It's going to happen in just like a pill you pop in. The doctors, if at all you're so anxious, they will give you some medicine to relax. Because, again, interrelatedly, your organs will start getting affected. You are under pressure. You won't be able to eat properly. You won't be able to digest properly. So you will become weak. When you become weak, your immunity system goes down. So everything is interrelated. Once that happens, any situation, if at all you know that you can deal also, you will not be able to deal. There is no energy left. So you need to be very careful about it. These are very clear differences, and I hope that it answers your question. And you can always on the comment box down, you can always write your comment. I'll read it and I'll get back to you. You can leave your email ID, or the number, then you can contact me. The number is 98197 550 778. Coming to symptoms of anxiety and worry, this is to my best capacity that I have written. There could be various other symptoms, and there could be any other points that you can and would like to add. You can always tell me. I can try to adjust in this. For my next PPT, it may help somebody, but to my knowledge, you can go through all these points, I'll read it down. Other issues I have written. It's not that when you are worried, these issues will not be there. It may or may not be there. It may or may, if it is there, it may be in various intensities. We are human beings. At the end of the day, we realize that everything is interconnected. The issues that I have written is body ache, low energy, low motivation, uncertainty, negative thoughts, anger, irritation, weight change, withdrawal, hopelessness, mood swings, headache, hyperactivity, gut system affected, tensed neck, less or more water, lost appetite, restlessness, tightness in chest, trembling, thoughts are short-lived, sleep disturbed, increase in heartbeat, nausea, GI problems, you feel cold, flushed, feeling dry mouth, thirsty, dehydration, uneasiness, shortness of breath, liver torture, painful thoughts, sleep problem. These are some of the symptoms that you may identify within yourself. In the center, in the yellow part, I have written exactly in the same place where I have mentioned about worry. Okay? Since we know worry happens in our head, it starts in the mental from the top and it proceeds towards down because it's going to be in our body later on if not tackled. We are having a verbal talk with our own selves or with somebody. You know, we have a headache, we have a thumping pain, and we feel a pressure on our neck. We are hyperactive. Like for example, till the bus comes, how the mother behaves, it's very normal. It's not that it's out of something. If it's happening every time, then it's like she's setting in towards being anxiety. If at all, like to curb that, if she could give a call to the driver or to some other parents to know about what has happened. So that will save her from going through the extensiveness of thought process. The gut system affected, again, you will feel like, a butterfly or tightness in the stomach. But once you have reached the place, again, you will settle down. I'm sure you all must have experienced any one of the examples I have said, or you will be experiencing something else right now. You may tend to drink less or more water. Out of weariness, sometimes you forget to eat and drink. And sometimes people, gulp in more water to keep themselves hydrated also. You'll feel restlessness. It's for like till you reach the examination hall. It's like sometimes if your dad is driving or if the driver is there, you will find yourself, maybe at times your leg is in another motion. It's just rattling. You'll see yourself in some physical form that you are very, very restless. You will maybe walk a lot. Something in the movement will be there to depict that you are restless. You will feel tightness in the chest because of the thought process, the hyperactivity, the restlessness part, not drinking water, everything just combines and you will feel as if this is it. Like this is the worst feeling you are feeling. Well, that is not true also, but then at that point of time, it's absolutely correct. Your thoughts are short-lived. Once you reach the place, once it is resolved, you'll feel calmer. Sleep disturbed is like the day that you are worried about something, till the point of time, the issue is resolved. You are tense like. So maybe at night or the time when you are about to sleep, you may not fall asleep easily. That could be the reason because your body has gone through a lot of pressure when you are undergoing the worry part. Now imagine one day worry can make you lose sleep for a day or two. If you are repeatedly not taking up the issues, how it is going to damage your body, the sleep cycle. That is why in the last part, the sleep problem is mentioned in the anxiety list, wherein it shows slowly and steadily. Now, one reason you are not able to resolve, there is another reason. It's like, add on. And now, when you are anxious, you are unable to sleep. You will be just tossing and turning on the bed. It's in your mind. You're not able to resolve because it's too much on your platter. So it's difficult, not impossible. Again, everything is manageable. Are you ready? That is important. Again, the increase in heartbeat will be there. You will feel nauseated because maybe you have not eaten something, or maybe there is less of oxygen intake because of your short breathness and you're breathing faster. And there could be a cold flush feeling, like you'll feel like zoned out also at times when you're anxious. And there's dry mouth and thirsty. You will feel thirsty. Dehydration is there. There is lack of energy at that point whenever you're anxious. Your body has consumed in all that was available to you at that time. Now, if it has consumed, for example, one day, second day again you are anxious, you wake up with anxiety, what will happen today? There is something, I can feel it in my gut, something bad is going to happen. You are again getting yourself in a state wherein your body is tensed. You will not be able to relax. Even if you are eating, it will not be absorbed properly. You need to be very careful about it. Liver torture, painful thoughts, it will be a painful thought because you're not able to resolve one thing. You will start feeling very incompetent. You'll look at yourself as you're not worth of anything. Wherein it's all started with procrastination. Not doing things at the right time before you are supposed to complete it. Once in a while it's fine to do it at the nick of time, but don't make it a habit, because that is where then it seeps inside the body. Sleep problem again is like, as I mentioned, when your sleep is disturbed and you are not taking care of the reason part, how you have reacted to people when you were worried. Somebody may say something to you at that point of time, and then it's like those words will again have another orchestra playing in your mind, and you will not let it go. It's all so complicated and very well knitted inside a system. So you have to be in the moment. This is the reason I was worried. What can I do about it? You need to write down on pen and paper so that you know what to do. The next slide will show you the tips, how you can include these tips in your life, or maybe you are doing it. That is very good. I'm sure you all are doing it. But at the right time, maybe it may not click to you. I'll tell you a very interesting thing which I came across after making the PPT. So that I'll share after I have shared the tips. So the tips is like, I'll just read first. Breathe, sleep, exercise, water, hobby, specific food, workload, decluttering, pamper yourself, support group, don't be strict, resolve issues, connect, appreciation, self-confidence, identify your triggers, expectation management, value efforts, self-worth, plan or no plan, respect yourself, focus on now. That is important. Vitamin D and B12, diet or green tea, seek help. Rearranging home part of the day, time management, screen time reduced, candles, flowers, routine checkup, dress up morning, drawing and entertainment. These are some of the tips that you can follow at a particular time when you are worried, and anxiety is setting in, and it's happening on a recurrent phase. So here in blue, when I have mentioned, and it's in the center, so again, worry part in the center, remember? So this is also in the center. It means that this is the starting point for you, the resolve issues and value your efforts. This is very important. For example, if you have to reach on time for the office, for any meeting, for any particular task, initially you used to take it, very casually, and I've got all this sorted, I'll go. And you reach there on time, okay? And the other person has not reached on time. You will get worried why that person has not reached. Again, it's a symptom of mother and child. The mother gets affected by it, and it's difficult. So it's like these 2 points, if you take necessary precaution, you may call up that person to ask where that person is, or you can be busy with your own time and wait for that person to come and explain. Either you make the effort or give the other person the chance. It's okay. You're not losing on life on that point. So why lose your breath at that point? Don't get so worked up inside. It's not needed. You have to find ways to, match whatever the situation is. You all have the capacity, and I completely believe in it. The identifying the trigger and expectation management, again, these two are very important. The reason why these two are important is when, for example, you have to submit an assignment, and or you have to do a particular work that you were supposed to do and you have not done it on time, and like now the clock is ticking and you are doing it. So if it's happened before, you know the trigger point. Okay, I was supposed to do that thing. Okay, and if this is the second time, it's fine. You can still go ahead with it. It's okay. In the end, everyone ends up doing it. But what is the cost that is invested in completing the work? When the work is done, like if there is a performance to be done in school plays and college plays, anything behind the stage is happening, there is a turmoil, but eventually the program was a hit, everyone is relaxed. What is the cost of the person who was in charge of it? So that is inside the body that is happening. It's not visible outside. You are taking in, because this is one of the triggers. If not resolved, you will add on another trigger. You will add on another trigger. The journey is different for each triggers. So when it sets in, anxiety, when it's there in your body, because the body is also now getting involved, you will not be able to find the resolution immediately. You are expecting the same result. Okay, I'll be cool with whatever has happened. But actually, it is not. The reality, the ground reality is very different. People are in pain. And why they are in pain? Because they are not able to meet probably what they deserve as compared to what they are receiving at that point of time. So somewhere the effort part has to be revamped, and you all will be able to do whatever you want to do in life as per your circumstances. Do not compare the circumstances with anyone else. Like, oh, this person has achieved so much, I have not. You are not taking the journey of that person's life. You are taking your own journey. How competent, how alert, how smart you are in dealing with your own self, that will speak a lot. Okay, that brings the end to the slide. And the last slide says, face anxiety with confidence. So you need to be confident when you are facing anxiety, because when you are worried, you don't need to worry. It's as simple as that. Because you will be finding ways, hopefully now. The interesting part that I wanted to share with you all, and I had mentioned before, while I was making these slides, I never realized the interconnectivity between the slides. In the way that if you go back and you see the symptoms slide over there, you point out to any symptom. Okay? And in that position, exactly the same position, maybe the column and the row, exactly the same point, you go ahead to the solution part, okay, the tips part, exactly the same position. That is your starting point. You can try for yourself once you have watched, and it was interesting, and you can always reach out to me. I am a solution therapist. Solution therapist is basically a therapist who resolves issues in shorter span of time as compared to a normal psychotherapist. Psychotherapist and a solution therapist, sometimes it may take more time, but usually the issues are resolved within 3, 5 or 7 sessions. It has not taken more than that, provided you do your homework and be happy and smile. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you in my next video. Stay safe and stay confident. Bless you.